Hi, I'm Eric.
And I'm Dick. We're the Annuity guys, and Eric, big government shutdown.
Government shutdown. Yeah, when we talk about right now, obviously the United States is kind of in peril, I guess, as we keep on the threat, the looming threat
right on the threshold, of the brink of disaster.
That's right. Here comes the default. We're all going to heck in a handbasket. We've already seen what happened in Greece, and all of Europe over the last couple of years.
Yes, which is very real, and it's thrown their markets into just a total mess, and we're feeling a little of it.
Oh yeah, so the threat of default, a lot of times we go through this political pressure in the economic markets, and what we see is how they react, and they keep on trying to anticipate what they think the government is going to do.
Right.
And I think we finally saw the first time the markets kind of blinked just here recently, and it's like they said, I don't know if I want to own your debt.
Well, and political will tends to waver very quickly, and we were reading an article on that this morning, but that political will is very quickly dictated to by the markets, and they, the politicians think that somehow they're going to dictate, policy just based in a vacuum of what they want, and they realize real quickly that they can't do that.
Well, and I guess we should give a little bit of history when we start talking about annuities and how annuities are impacted by bonds. It's kind of a mixed bag, really, because you would like to think when bond rates go up, so do the rates on annuities, which is generally true, because you have insurance companies that are buying bonds to basically pay off their annuity holders.
Yes.
But when you have annuities that are ricocheting up and down and you have instability in the market, that's really what makes a lot of people nervous.
Right. Well, and the annuities, generally speaking, Eric, what they do so well is they insulate against the volatility of the market and the risk and that is in most portfolios. And as you well know, when you go back to the just the standard portfolios that we've all been recommended, it's just generally everywhere, all over the internet. You need a mix of bonds, you need a mix of stocks, and this is just talked about regularly.
There's a rule of thumb that based off your age, you take your age, subtract it from 100, and there's your mix of bonds and equities. I'll be honest, I've been having conversations with people telling them that they may want to consider limiting some of their bond positions, maybe all of them, but replacing them with annuities for the very reasons you were just mentioning. Dick, when you look at, you can eliminate the market declines and this kind of ping pong effect.
Right.
You don't have to worry about default risk because, you own the annuity. You're not worried about the bond defaulting or the federal government not paying its debt. And then you get a couple bonuses like, guaranteed income for life.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
And
why not?
And how about not having to necessarily pay a management fee to somebody that's managing a bond portfolio for you?
Well, and case in point, Eric, go back to when the market took the big nosedive, or 2008, the Great Recession. Yeah. Well, what did we think? We thought that, based on conventional wisdom, if we have this stock bond mix, then sure, the stocks are going to go down, but the bonds are going to hold us up.
Right.
What happened? It all went down.
Oops.
and so now here we are in probably the most vulnerable position potentially in all of history, but at least in recent years, the last century, where the bond markets are facing this inverse relationship to interest rates, where interest rates have nowhere to go, but straight up.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen to the bond market, to the yield?
Who wants to own a 1% bond when all of a sudden they're going to start to pay 2% or 3%?
Right.
Nobody's going to be able to get rid of those bonds.
It's a hot potato.
Yeah.
And why not you brought it up, why not let the annuity companies manage that risk? Because that's what insurance companies do best. They manage risk, and they basically hire the cadre, the army of managers that's needed to manage bond risk.
Right. They've done this for hundreds of years.
And they do it long term. They're not in it for the short term treasury.
It's just not for your lifetime, which sounds a little funny, but they've managed it for multiple lifetimes. So that's how they have a much bigger, much larger perspective.
Some of these companies, one in particular I'm thinking of, survived over the last 300 years and is an A-rated company today. Yeah. And so
couple world wars.
France's takeover, Napoleon Bonaparte, and just the list goes on and on.
Exactly.
So the truth of the matter is that government shutdowns, whether they're perceived, they're real, the austerity measures we've seen in Europe, they have a dramatic effect on interest rates, and interest rates have a dramatic effect on annuities, and interest rates have a dramatic effect on volatility in the market.
So let's put it this in summary. I guess is it a good thing to hold an annuity or be an owner of annuity when there's a government shutdown?
I think that would be where I would want my portfolio to be, a portion of it anyway, in annuities, a foundational portion, so that when these kind of things happen, which they're going to, or something new, that we're always blindsided with something new. That's the
something that's never happened before.
We think we've got it all figured out, and we've done all the stress tests, and then lo and behold, the next crisis comes along that blindsides us. That's why it makes sense to have a portion of the annuity, a foundational portion, so that when these things happen, you can weather these storms without stress, sleep well at night.
Some safety, some security, some annuities.
Agreed.